This child lives in Africa. She lives in a small hut with no shoes and very old, tattered clothing. She is in need of the basic necessities like clean water and nutritious food, clothing, and shelter. So what will you do? Most people's instinct is to help. Help her through her rough times and give her someone to look up to.
The idea is that we will relieve suffering in developing countries and rescue millions from the bonds of perpetual poverty.
Who should we help? We should help the countries who have very little money and food and are in need of our help. What is this called? This is called foreign aid. Foreign aid is when you give a small amount of your money and send it to another country and try to help them get through their hard times. Foreign aid helps other countries because it might buy a family food or clothing or even shelter.
$1 can help 100 people more in that poor country than it can help someone in the rich country. Although we have stronger affinity to our citizens, and if money was equally effective, we'd choose our own citizens first. When it's 100 times more effective in impacting lives, then we think we're all human beings.
Now, some people have other opinions about foreign aid, such as it is a waste of tax money that could be used here, that we should be helping people here to get better, not other countries.
But spending has increased and increased, and the media, politicians and celebrities alike have joined forces to tell us that foreign aid is a force for good in the world. Have the undoubtedly noble goals of aid model actually being achieved? African countries which regulate the domestic economy to absurd degrees failed to develop. The point is, donors supported these policies, and many donors are still pouring money into countries with policies detrimental to growth. The second reason why we believe the aid model is ineffective is because it fuels corruption. The unfortunate fact is, aid often is not spent in the way it was intended. Instead of gearing up investments, money was spent on current spending and current consumption. The final reason why aid harms its recipients is that it closes the doors of developing countries. For it is sound economic policies, not aid, that over the past few decades have lifted millions out of dire poverty. In 1970 and 1995, aid to Africa increased dramatically. By the same time, GDP per capita growth in Africa decreased at a startling rate and was even measured negative figures.
And so there is a trade-off, but I don't think that trade-off should mean dropping below the 1% of the budget that it is today, those dollars that have so much impact. The suffering of a mother whose child is sick and might die is a universal value. If people have the full picture here, the aid will not be something that's cut off.
Now that you've seen why foreign aid is important to other countries, I encourage you to make the right choice and help people that are less fortunate than us.